Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The circumstances surrounding the arrest, or rather an abduction, of Kenyan MCA, Honorable City, is very shocking and is actually putting what is supposed to be a very good investigation of Koimburi abduction into question. If you look at the story surrounding it, you'll actually agree with me that someone could be pushing a different objective apart from what the country is being served to understand. Because the investigator, for the last few days, has been releasing snippets to try to convince the public that the Georgia Member of Parliament staged his own abduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this podcast, I'm going to look at how that investigation has been hijacked, and that is why you can see Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata coming up and reacting about this matter. I know this has been a topic of interest in the better part of this week, and I want just to ask you to subscribe to this channel. You've heard a lot about it, but of course there is something critical in this podcast that I believe you've not heard elsewhere. So make sure you're yet to hear anywhere. So make sure you watch to the end, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can understand more about this. And whenever I publish a video, you'll be getting notifications. Just on Wednesday, the police paraded what they believe was the evidence of a self-abduction. And in a 2-minute, in probably a 5-minute press briefing, the security chiefs decided to hold a presser to tell the country that according to the investigation at where that investigation had reached, George Koimburi abducted himself. And I will play for you that video. We'll look at it. But when I listened to it, I was actually in the office with some gentleman. That gentleman was telling me, I was just trying to ask him about it. Do you think it was self-abduction or something was there? And that MP, he's not an MP, but he's a PA to an MP, he actually told me that how do you want to believe the investigator story on self-abduction? Because even if it was security agencies involved, did you expect them to come and say, yes, we did it?
And really regret the fact that it is quite inconceivable for a honorable member of Parliament to go to that extent of the state managing his own abduction, creating a lot of tension and fear in the country. Fortunately, we were able to expedite the investigations and to expose him to the public that the Member of Parliament was indeed not abducted. We were able to account for all his movements from the time he attended the church up to where he slept that night. We have even identified the hotel and the room number that he slept. But in order not to prejudice our investigations, we may not be able to share that information at this point in time. But definitely, we are going to share that information with him. And again, it is unfortunate that being a victim, the investigating team were denied access to go and interview the Honorable Member of Parliament, which we very believe that he did not suffer any injuries whatsoever. And perhaps he could as well be staying at the Karen Hospital enjoying his 5-course meal. In terms of the motive, we have 2 theories. One, the Member of Parliament was very privy to the fact that They were looking for him for two offenses. One is a matter of land fraud that we investigated, and the file was forwarded to the DPP, and the DPP had approved sanction. And the Member of Parliament did very well that he was to be arrested and prosecuted. And besides that also, we are also reading an element of politics to try to cause fear and anxiety in the country. So we are reading a political motive in the entire drama. So it was all drama, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
You didn't. And then the second point that he also challenged me, he said, Kevin, during Gen Z protest, and even lately in December, there were abductions and videos were seen when people were picked in stalls. People were picked in stalls. But still the security agencies did not accept ownership, or they did not accept that the ones that were responsible for those abductions. So what makes it different? But I said yes. So we had this debate, and I actually told him that we will not do that analysis because I wanted to hear the side of the story. You know, it's good to hear both sides, because even as they were releasing that story, they were still saying they were yet to interview Koimburi. And in fact, they said they tried to interview the MP in his sick bed. I don't know how that was even possible. And of course, they could not be allowed, and the doctor said they were doing a procedure. So this is a man that has been condemned in his sick bed, and the security chiefs are issuing pressers one after the other. I don't know how we are supposed to believe them. Despite of all conspiracies, they've said they've interviewed, I don't know, the waiter, they've interviewed the hotel, they've interviewed everything, and they're saying they have all these details until they have arrested, I don't know, some 2 people and some driver. But despite of having all this, they're saying the hospital where that MP slept, the CCTV on that day was not operational. So there have been questions around all this. And how I wish that the said evidence they're saying, instead of calling press briefings and telling us all that, we should actually see that side, the real thing, the real names, the people that are actually involved. So today, Citizen TV captured a story when Kenyan MCA was picked up by some unknown persons after she was called to attend, or rather to meet a friend in some hotel.
From deep reflections on the unfortunate events to frantic calls to find her whereabouts, family, friends and colleagues of Kenyan MCA Grace Nduta City were in distraught hours after she was allegedly taken away by unknown men. Nduta's driver, who was last seen with the MCA, revealed that she had received a call from an unidentified man asking her to meet at a restaurant in Kandara before things took a troubling turn.
Nikakuja nikamdrop, nikatoka. But kwa hiyo harakati ya kutoka kama 100 meter hivi ama 150 meters, kuna gari nilipita hapo na nikaona hiyo gari imeteremsha vioo. Na saa hiyo nikachukua simu nikapigia mheshimiwa, nikamwambia kuna gari nimeona hapo na imeteremsha vioo, wakaniangalia sana. Sasa nikamwambia ajiangalie. Sasa mimi kwenda kukaa ndo nikampigia simu, nikasikia simu haingii.
He drove back only to face his worst fears. The hotel management revealed that his boss had been taken away by 3 men he had spotted earlier and driven out of the premises in haste.
Kulikuwa na mmoja mwenye saa alikuwa amempigia simu wapatane hapo kwa hiyo hoteli. I think saa huyo jamaa ndio akaita hao wengine. Jamaa 3 hivi. Wakakuja, gari karudi. Ile gari nilikuwa nimeona karudi ndio ikamchukua.
The family suspects the MCA may have been arrested because of her close ties with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, whom she had recently hosted in her ward.
Alileta mheshimiwa Gitugati huko Kenyan Rigathi Gachagua. Tunashuku ya kwamba wamemkamata kwa sababu ya kumleta Murang'a. Kwa hivyo kama ni siasa haijafika, siasa itakuja.
Yale makosa tu mheshimiwa Grace City amefanya, ya kwanza ni kuwa mwandani wa karibu wa mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua.
Now, if I want to show you this investigation is just a game of riddles and just a lot of conspiracy. Just in the middle of this video, I've seen this statement from NPS. For immediate release, this is what they're saying. The attention of Director of Criminal Investigations have been drawn to reports circulating on social media on alleged abduction of Grace Nduta Wairimu. We wish to confirm that Grace Nduta Wairimu, MCA representing Kanyenyaini ward in Murang'a County, was arrested today, 29th May, as part of ongoing investigation on the stage-managed abduction of Honorable George Koimburi. It has been confirmed that despite her claims of being in Kangema and attending church services and political rallies on May 25, evidence clearly shows that she was at the Elias Bar and Restaurant in Kiganjo, Gatundu South, with the Honorable George Koimburi the entire night. Okay. See, I want to understand. So what is the connection? What is the charge? If she was in the same bar where Koimburi was the whole night, so what is her charge? What is her problem? How does she come? How is she a person of interest to have staged the protest, staged the abduction? If you're looking for the abduction, kama when walikuwa kwa hiyo bar usiku, are those people supposed to be charged to be part of that abduction? That's number one. Number two, with the information now coming in the way that investigation is taking, are they really looking for those who supported abduction, or they're dragging that woman into the picture? Remember, this could be someone with a husband and children. So what is this approach they have taken? Because, or what are they now bringing? Is it now an investigation, or just trying to bring people around, say this was with him at night? And let me assume the MCA was with Koimburi at night. Okay, what is the issue? What is she supposed to do? What is her problem? Okay, lawyers here, you need to tell me. Sasa shida yake ni kukaa na yeye usiku. How about if she didn't know that the MP was staging an abduction? Because not that the MP was abducted in the restaurant? Come on. I think what the investigator is dealing on, that investigation is not know about the abduction. And that's what I'm telling you, it's other things. This now is not about that abduction. So this is the story about that MCA arrest. And if you look at the manner in which it was done, this is the MCA in question. Police say that Grace Nduta of Kenyan ward is among individuals the MP met on the day of the incident, which authorities now allege was orchestrated to avoid arrest over a land fraud. Now, this is what DCI is saying. The DCI is saying a land fraud. I want you to get that part. Investigators have arrested 3 other suspects and recovered 2 vehicles believed to have been used in the operation. Detectives established that Koimburi spent the night of the alleged abduction at a Gatundu hotel, received refreshments, and was later driven to a coffee farm where he was discovered and taken to hospital by his own associates. Forensic analysis also showed the vehicle plates used in the stunt were tampered with to avoid detection. This is what has been said. Now, immediately after this MP was arrested, the first person to react was Irungu Kang'ata, the governor. He did a post and said, Honorable City MCA Kenyan Kangema has been picked up by unknown persons. Unconfirmed reports had suggested that she is in Samburu Police Post, Gatanga. I have visited the post to no avail. The county will endeavor to trace her, particularly because of her beloved children. Yes. So, what was investigation? In fact, after the tweet from Irungu Kang'ata, it is when the investigators, the people who picked the MCA now said she's being interrogated in connection to Koimburi's abduction. Now, I want you to look at the manner of picking up. You know, it's not even arrest, it's like being picked up. And I think this is where the investigator is not getting it right, because if you execute it in that manner, what was otherwise a good move then looks something that has been staged, then looks like that abduction. So probably what they need to leverage on is a situation where you do it in a manner that is not going to raise suspicion. I don't know how else that is supposed to be. But I wish you do it in a manner that it doesn't raise suspicion. Now, the governor picking it up means that what went out is not an arrest. What went out is an abduction. And the manner and the name dragging, the conspiracies around it are mind-boggling. In fact, they say the MP had asked that car from a friend. And if it is asked from a friend, and the friend has given the car, so what is the essence of tampering with the number plates? And the issue of tampering with the number plates, now you don't know which one is which. Was it KDQ or was KDG? So many questions remain entering in it. And of course, immediately, the police gave that statement. Immediately they gave their statement of account on what happened. Parliament descended on Juja MP. In fact, particularly if you listen to the soundbite of Kimani Ichung'wah,
information around issues touching on the finance bill, Honorable Speaker, we said it to the nation that many of the things that were offensive to Kenyans had been removed from that bill. But nobody listened, Honorable Speaker, because of the negativity, the propaganda that was being pushed by this group, Honorable Speaker. I don't want to say, Wamunyoro is a very good village. And you know, Honorable Speaker, I have confessed that I have married a beautiful lady from Nyeri. And is one of the villages in Madera constituency represented by the Honorable Amombi. Therefore, let us not accuse that good village. This is a character of a person and a group around him that believes you can only advance opposition politics either using violence, deceit, bloodshed, and that is why you saw the things that were in the ordinary motion by Honorable Junet yesterday. The unfortunate reference to the 2007 post-election violence, Honorable Speaker. Because these are people who have no agenda for this country. And all they desire is chaos and anarchy for our country. Honorable Speaker, I want to plead with you, because you are the chair of our Powers and Privileges Committee. Irrespective of what the National Police Service and the Director of Prosecution or the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission do with the Honorable Koimburi, the Powers and Privileges Committee of this House must be seized of this matter of Honorable Koimburi. And I also want to speak to the people of Juja. They are a great people who have been denied proper representation in this House. And I don't want to discuss the member, Honorable Speaker, but the people of Juja are suffering, and I've been there, I know. Right now I'm addressing issues, Honorable Speaker, in my office.
Kimani Ichung'wah was actually seeking some disciplinary action against the MP. And then they just took what the police have said, even though the police have not had, they're yet to interview Koimburi. Or probably email Koimburi to give an account of what happened, how he found himself all there. They rushed to Parliament to condemn and actually asking the Speaker and the residents to recall the MP. Now, the way it has been done, you need to understand something that I think in this context, and that's why I'm saying it's been hijacked. You need to understand that this Koimburi MP is not in good terms with the president's UDA MPs, because during finance bill he alleged that MPs were bribed. Yes, he alleged so. And during even the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, he also alleged that MPs were bribed. And MPs really descended on him with blows some time back. Number two, he's also amongst MPs allied to President Ruto in Kiambu. In fact, is the senator and him are the two most vocal leaders from Kiambu County who are with Rigathi. But in the whole Kiambu, he's actually with Rigathi. Amongst the Kiambu MPs, the most vocal that has come out in public to side with Rigathi Gachagua is Koimburi. So there are so many other factors around it. And that is why the way the arrest on the on that MCA took place is very questionable as to what was exactly the objective of that arrest. And at that point, allow me to bring these other factors. Remember, the state has been maintaining a line that violence on Rigathi. In fact, I want to, when you listen to Kimani Ichung'wah is blaming Rigathi and Malala to have been the brain behind that abduction, so that Rigathi is demanding sympathy. But the police are saying that the MP was evading arrest on some land fraud case. So you see those two. Why are MPs in the National Assembly, why are they not saying, like Kimani Ichung'wah, why is Kimani Ichung'wah not picking that line by the DCI? Because the DCI is saying he faked his own abduction to evade arrest over some land fraud case. But why is the National Assembly guys not picking up that line? They're picking up that line because that investigation, or rather that case, that incident, probably that incident has been hijacked to achieve this objective. Someone wants to use it to downplay the violence that has been meted on Rigathi Gachagua. And now they will say, you know, the MP has staged his own abduction, and this is the script by Rigathi Gachagua people, and so even those violence acts, the violence meted on his events, are normally organized by himself so that he can get sympathy. Now, that is one factor, that is the one issue that has hijacked that investigation. And that is why I believe we need to be a little bit more keen, not just buying what is being said. The second issue is this. This MCA hosted Rigathi Gachagua in Kangema. This MCA hosted Rigathi Gachagua in Kangema. So what is it? There could also be an opportunity, and again, I think the story is supposed to be framed that this was a mistress who spent some time with the MP. If you are in such a situation, let's assume you are staging an abduction. That is the night you can be there with someone. You know these things, even if you want to, they don't make sense. So there is also a possibility, and I've seen people, some analysts from Murang'a saying, there's also a possibility that the MCA is being dragged in the picture only because she has to be punished for her association with Rigathi Gachagua. And that way I'm saying, the MP hosted Rigathi, is being arrested, the first person to respond is the governor. So you need to question, did the MCA host Rigathi against governor's wish? No. Governor was part and parcel of that. And again, the governor is coming to defend an MCA associating with Rigathi. Do you want to believe that Rigathi and Kenyatta are enemies? No. That's another line you can easily draw. And that is why I told you that Kenyatta's reaction to that incident was, for me, the gist of it. The other factor that also I need to look is the self-abduction pitch. The pitch that MP abducted himself is a ground being pushed by the state so that they can form a strong ethics case against Koimburi for two objectives. Powers and Privileges Committee chaired by the President, that committee that Ichung'wah was talking about, is supposed to descend on that MP with several other punishments. Remember, this is the fate that Orwob underwent. If there is something that Kenya Kwanza is very effective in doing, is on these punishments. They can easily punish you very fast, especially when a punishment needs to be done. They're so fast in this than even doing so many other things. Number two, if they can stage such a big ethics case against the MP, and remember even the land fraud case, then it's a ground to stop that MP from vying in 2027. Yes, there is a case. And stop from vying with an objective, with a condition that if you leave Rigathi, this case might be lifted. So these are all these are all involved, and that is why for me, when I heard about this issue, I was saying there's no need of rushing in it. This issue has a lot of other factors involved in this. I don't know. The DCI are spending, and the investigators are spending a lot of time and in press briefings telling the country the way this was a self-abduction, this was that, this was that. But do you know 2 Catholic priests have been killed in a very mysterious way? Even that one in Marakwet. Now, lastly, this whole narrative about we've gathered, how about if coercion is a tactic that has been used to juice these conspiracy theories from people? How about what is being paraded as recording investigation is just a coercion tactic that has been used? On this one, I think what was started as a very good investigation has been hijacked to run a strategic choreographed campaign to achieve a specific objective. And sadly so, we may never know the truth. But again, someone will tell me, Kevin, did you expect them to accept that they abducted the MP? Did you expect? Tuonane kesho bana.